Hey guys, um, thanks. I just wanted to have a video that's not in my car. I'm on vacation this week, so this was a good chance to do it. I want to go in depth into Aether, why I'm still bullish, and why I am not selling. Before we get into it, please pause the video, and read this disclaimer. It just says I'm not a financial advisor. No matter what I say in this video, it's not to be taken as financial advice. Okay. That being said, people sell for two main reasons in all assets or stocks or whatever. One is their time expectation has not been met, and the price expectation has not been met. We often focus heavily on our price expectation and kind of forget about the time expectation, which is kind of what leads us to sell. We expect things to go up very quickly after we buy them, and we expect to see a return very quickly. What we're experiencing right now with Aether, I've been holding for over a year, the majority of my coins by now, is my time expectation has not been met or the price expectation. But let's take a look at where we are now, and let's just look at the Aether chart, so we can just form some opinions about it. So this is going back about 20 days. This was over here on the left was June, earlier June 10th, maybe about a month ago. All right, so what we've been forming is a lower low and a lower high, a lower low and a lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, and we continued to do that. And most recent bottom here at 2.5 cents hit on the 4th of July. So, okay. Um, and I just want to point something out. So, in general, um, you know, we're kind of seeing a curved bottom here as sellers become less and less aggressive on their selling. And I personally feel that yes, we could see another low down to the 2.4 cent area, um, but I just want to point out that there is some good behavior which we pulled up to this high. We set a higher low, so higher than this one, and now we are pushing up. And I think at this point we can say, all right, on the hourly, we're looking positioned to attempt to break out of this down channel. But I always like to zoom out. So let's zoom out on the daily. All right. Zooming out on the daily, you can see these few green days we've had are just a bleep on the chart compared to these massive moves we've seen. And when this thing moves, since it is a relatively, let's call it a mid cap, 270 million, it moves very rapidly when it moves up. So you can see here on May 6th, we were down here at 2.9 cents. And by the time the 16th rolled around 10 days later, we were at 5.5 cents. Things can change very rapidly in crypto. And you'll feel as though we're so low right now, it's going to take forever to get up there. And that's just not the case. It's not the case in crypto. Could we go down from here? Yes, we absolutely could. I watch YouTube influencers and get very frustrated because every single time they're saying it's your last chance, it's your last chance. We don't know when the last chance will be. But let's continue on with the presentation. I just wanted to point this out. Oh, I should also mention the RSI, which is down below. Yeah, we got extremely oversold, and we are still, well, I wouldn't say extremely oversold on the daily. Yeah, we hit 25, so we were oversold technically. And since the RSI has come up to 38, and a lot of room to cycle back up at this point. You can see we got overbought back here on this pump to 5.5 cents. We were overbought significantly. But yeah, we're coming out of oversold territory, and I would expect this cyclic pattern on the RSI to continue, and we would start moving up more into the overbought conditions once again. But let's jump back over and see, why we're invested in Aethir. Why are we okay at this point? Why am I okay, at least? All right. Title of this next one is, what is the current market cap compared to others? So let's just look at Aethir at $270 million market cap right now with a fully diluted of $1.18 billion. And let's compare that to Render, which has a market cap of $1.6 billion market cap and a fully diluted of 2.18. So we can think right now that the market has valued Aethir as half the cost of Render. And just keep that in mind as we move on. But I'll mention that the all-time high market cap of Render was $5 billion in market cap. So that came, I believe, in this past November, December, when AI hype wave was up and everyone was super excited. Trump got elected, meme coin, so Render hit a $5 billion on its market cap. All right. So that would be roughly a 5x from here if we were looking at fully diluted value. All right. What would Aethir's price be at if it reached Render's max market cap, that $5 billion? So if Aethir right now, if its current market cap, not fully diluted, but market cap, did hit the same market cap as Render did in its last pump up, that would be an 18x from here. If we were to consider Aethir under fully diluted valuation, that would be a 4.2x from here, landing Aethir at a price of 12 cents. And obviously, if we're just comparing the market cap up above, it would be Aethir at 50 cents, in which case we'd all be very well off. But we need to consider something between the two, because for this cycle, which I hope will be within the next 6 months, we're going to be somewhere between that market cap and that fully diluted value. So somewhere between the 18x and the 2x. And the question is, where are we going to be at in there? And what I did here is I pulled up the unlock schedule that's going to be happening. And you can see the unlock, relatively large unlock, happens in about 3 months from now, right between June and December. And my hope is that the bull cycle really kicks off by next year. So what we're looking at is roughly a doubling of the current tokens on the market. So with that in mind, I think it puts us somewhere in the middle of the 4.2 and the 18x from here. And I believe it will be around 11x. So, that price would be somewhere in the 20 to 30 cent range. That assumes that Aethir only goes up to where Render's market cap was. But what I'm going to show in these next slides is why I believe it could easily go even higher. So let me just share that with you. Why is Aethir going to outpace Render? Well, let's look at their GPUs on the Aethir website. 430,000 enterprise-grade GPUs on demand, over 400 million worth of compute capacity. Now, I researched Render's website. They make no mention of it. The way I see it is, why isn't Render telling us how much they have? When I see people not disclosing information, it's because the information might not meet people's expectations. And I really like how they're open about this. I think having 430,000 enterprise GPUs is outstanding, and they also publicize it. So I cannot compare directly to Render, but I've seen numbers floating around, and I'm not sure where they came from, saying that Render was at 5 to 10,000 GPUs. In which case, Aether is just substantially outpacing them. All right. The other reason I'm bullish on Aether and why I can see the price go down and I don't lose my mind is that the annual recurring revenue. So they're actually a company, and they have an annual recurring revenue right now of $140 million. Once again, I can't find this type of information on the Render website, but let me tell you, when Wall Street starts looking at cryptos and they start degening and realizing that, you know, Ethereum is taking off, Bitcoin's taking off, you know, and then they find out that there is a crypto company out there that sells GPU compute and they're doing 140 million in revenue, that's going to draw eyes. But what does that 140 million really mean? So I did some research. You know, what would a company be priced at $140 million revenue? And the analysis from that is that for low growth companies, it's a 3 to 5x multiple, and high growth premium SaaS is 10 to 15 times revenue, which would put, and I think we can agree, we're in the high growth area. I mean, AI is like the definition of high growth sector. So that would put it at around a $2 billion valuation. So all the signs are pointing, you know, if we looked at this 2 million, Aether is still undervalued at the moment. All right. And, you know, let's take a look at where Wall Street's interest is in. So looking at the largest companies by market cap, NVIDIA just broke its all-time high, and it's currently sitting at the highest valued company in the market, $4 trillion. Okay, $4 trillion. Okay, that is insane. And I just can't see when Wall Street wakes up and realizes that there's compute providers that offer NVIDIA chips on the marketplace, and mixing that crypto and AI, how this isn't going to really take off. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Once again, not financial advice, but these are the reasons why I'm remaining calm. I can see significant drops, and I'm not overly concerned at the moment. Is the time delay for my expectations been met? No. Like, I expected this to take off sooner. But guys, Ethereum has not broken out all-time high. Until that happens, we can't even look at the price. Obviously, we look at the price and we see, all right, what's the chart telling us? But it shouldn't be overly concerning. So with that said, I'm going to drop out, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.